girl mold, this woman mold. And we have to be able to fit or fill that mold. And the question came up of what happens when I don't fit or fill that mold. And that mold being the mold that society creates. But then the other question that I bring up is what happens when we don't fit or fill that mold that the Lord has? Because it's easy to say, I love Jesus, I want to follow Jesus, but I find that maybe I am supposed to be softer and I'm not. So there's a struggle there, not just a struggle to fit the world, but there's a struggle really to now fit the mold that the Lord has and what He's calling me to. How do we deal with that?
For me, it was initially earlier on, particularly as a believing woman, as a Christian woman. There are sects of Christianity that say define what womanhood is as well. The definition is not right. It's another stereotype. It's the, you should be quiet, literally quiet. You shouldn't say much. You should be very submissive, and this is not just in the context of marriage. This is across the board. And submissive, most of the time, that view is distorted, and it says that you don't speak up, you don't ask questions, you don't give an opinion, you just are quiet. And to do anything contrary to that, to have an original thought or some desires or an opinion or what have you, is wrong. And some people would even say it's sinful. And for me, because not having an opinion and not asking questions is the opposite of my personality, I found myself wrestling with that and really, feeling challenged inwardly. First needing to understand who does God call me to be and who does God say that I am and what does His Word say that I am. And what does His Word say about asking questions or what have you, and just learning from my relationship with Him that it's okay for me to ask questions and say, you know what, I really don't understand this. And taking that knowledge into, my everyday comings and goings, and particularly in the church, just a lot of times really wrestling with, who did He say I am as a woman, and how did He define me, and really knowing that and being secure in that so that I can navigate through life, because the stereotypes are going to be there in the church, out the church, and I just a lot of times found myself, and still find myself sometimes questioning, is this okay? Is this womanly? And now, the older I get, the less I care. Not care about what God says, but and not so worried about it as far as what man says, what people say, what society says, but just really being secure in who the Lord says that I am and what womanhood is. And, I personally believe that as God defines womanhood, it's a reflection of His image, but there is a softness there. There is a nurturing quality there. And, men have a different reflection of His image, but we have a reflection of His image that, the challenge for me was that softness, to be able to embrace a softer side and not to, to be okay with crying, as opposed to, like Amanda was saying, I'm extra girly, I cry over everything. For me to give myself permission to be soft and to be vulnerable.